Real talk, the Metaphor Messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave coming at you live from Germany for Dead on Dave Live. And you can see right from the screen that I am not all by myself as usual. No. We got ourselves a very, very special guest tonight, so hopefully you will treat him with the respect and dignity that he deserves, because he is the beat maker and one of the best friends of my friend, my buddy, my pal, RealTalk The Metaphor Messiah. This is the man who puts the G in Jesus. Jesus himself. What's going on, man? Welcome to Dead on Dave.
How you doing today, man? How you doing?
Much better now, man. We got some real credibility here, man. We got Detroit made, and Detroit just we got some real Detroit stuff going on. Now, usually that's a problem for me because I'm a Chicago boy, just like Jay, just like Real Talk. But you know, I'll make an exception for you, man. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, but you know, like they say, everybody's a Bulls fan. You can't hate the Chicago Bulls. Can't hate the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, no, of course not. Especially when the Pistons aren't doing very much. Oh, you cut out on me a little bit there. You still there?
And yeah, I mean, as far as it goes, I'm just here to tell a little bit about me and Real Talk's tale and who we are and what we stand for and what we're trying to make, you know, and what we're aiming for.
That's right, because you and Real Talk, now you've been in the background for a long time. You've done a lot of the beats on some of his biggest songs, some of his best songs, in my opinion. No offense to anybody else who's worked on any of Real's music, but I mean, there's a different sound. You could tell when it's a Jesus beat. You could tell. It's a different, everything about it is different. So let's start right at the beginning, man. How did you and Real Talk meet? What exactly is your relationship? And what exactly is the legacy? Because we hear the word legacy a lot coming out of Real Talk, but nobody knows what it is. I'm not asking, but we're going to ask right now. So go ahead and tell me exactly what your story is, my brother.
Well, check this out. Me and Talk met at school. We met at an alternative school. We was both sent to an alternative school.
Uh-oh.
And he could rap. You know, I heard him. And I always was a fan of his rap, and I always told him, like, man, if I was to make you some beats, you would have what you need. That will complete you. And, you know, he's like, nah, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to do it, but you a rapper too. You know, because at the time, I'm just a rapper. But I got an ear for this. You know what I'm saying? I hear it before I even create it. So as we went on becoming friends, he got better in rap. I decided to take a journey a different way. You know, I'm like, okay, well, Real Talk is the king of this rap. He got this. He's gonna maintain this for a while. I decided, you know, I'm gonna take an ear to beats and just try. And I mean, my first few beats were, you know, it was okay. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
As time went on, Real Talk would be like, hey, why don't you try to sample this, sample that? And I came with different tunes, and I hear different patterns, and I just see things different. I don't want to give him just the same speculation of hip hop that everybody else does.
Right.
Because then that makes us like everybody else. We want to be different. So to be different, I just take what I know about my friend and broadcast it. I know what my friend likes. You know, this has been my best friend for a long time. So I know what he wants to hear, and I know how he's going to create the word patterns for the beat before I even make the beat. I could call him and just tell him I'm making a beat, and he already knows that when I send it to him, it's a masterpiece. And you know, it's just fun being a beat maker at times, but I do got a skill of rap that I don't show that much. I do have songs with Real Talk that we've done, and you know, we've showed the world. I've even had offered deals from the Wu-Tang, you know, we turned that down, but it's just something about us controlling everything we do makes life feel better. It just feels better.
It seems like you're a perfect compliment to him. Like I said, there's just something different when you two work together. There's just something different about it. You seem to know exactly what he wants, when he wants it, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is something to behold.
Yeah, it's a hammer and a nail, you know, and we've learned to do that, and we learn to settle our problems instead of, you know, a lot of guys fall out and can't say they got friends for 16, 17 years. You know?
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and they fall out of patterns, get over it over women. It's all type of things that happen in this world that are crazy.
Or just simply be from Detroit and Chicago.
Chicago, yeah, you know. But we settled our differences and learned to work together. And from that point, we created, that's where we got the legacy. And, you know, we used to watch a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was the Nexus versus the Legacy. So
and I was wondering if this is where it came from, because I know Real's a big wrestling fan, and you know I'm a big wrestling fan.
And
so I was like, are they just going after Randy Orton shtick here? What's going on?
Well, I was a huge Randy Orton fan, and he's like, you know, I've always told him, like, man, you're going to leave a legacy. And then they came out, and I'm like, oh, it's the Legacy. But then it was a group, the Nexus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they kind of sound good, too, you know, either you against or you're standing next to him. And, you know, he's like, you know what, let's call ourselves the Legacy. And we were sitting in a car. We were just sitting in the car having a conversation, just trying to create a name. And I said, yeah, you know, that sounds right for us, because that's what you're trying to build to. You want to leave a legacy, because it's not about the money for us. You know, money comes and goes. I get a job and make some money. It's
sure.
People don't understand that money doesn't rule you. You got to rule money.
Sometimes it's what you leave behind. Sometimes it's the mark that you leave on this world is all you got sometimes. Whether it be family, friends, children, or what you create. Absolutely, I agree with you.
And, you know, as far as us taking the legacy, we took it to a bigger extreme. You know, we traveled the United States. We've done shows here in Michigan, you know, Chicago. We've done Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, Las Vegas, California, you know, and just me and him working together it's been a great circuit. And, you know, him being my friend, watching him gain this glory he's been looking for is a blessing, not only to me, but to the whole legacy that we're creating.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I'm just blessed to have a good friend like Real Talk, you know. And I'm glad that he chose me to be the example that he wants to create. You know, the I'm the ear. You know, he gives the voice, I'm the ear. And it's a great feeling. You know, Dave, I love working with my friend. And, you know, same with Ray Legend. I work with Ray Legend. That's my brother, my blood.
I've had him on this show as well. I've had Ray on this show as well. And and I know Ray's done a lot of work with Real as well. It's what's really cool about the dynamic. It feels like a canvas and painter. You're that canvas that Real's painting on. You lay the backdrop for everything that he does, and it's a perfect fit. You know, like it's pretty remarkable. So with all that being said and everything that you guys have created, what does the legacy mean to you exactly? I mean, it's obviously it's more to the name. It's something that means something. But what exactly does it mean?
The legacy, to what it means to me, it means winning. You know, winning. Period. We're Golden State tonight. You know, we're winning right now, and that's what it means.
The super team.
we don't want to leave a bad message or a bad rep for people. We want people to leave out and remember the legacy as those guys that taught you something. Right. You know, knowledge is the key in this world. Without knowledge, we can't process. Me and you couldn't even set this interview up if I didn't know what Skype was.
Very true.
Know, and knowledge is what's going to move us forward. And me and Real Talk and Ray Legend, that's what we push for, is to speak to the people. Let the people understand that it's more to the world than, hey, cars, chains, clothes, and jewelry. You know, it's a lot more to the world than that. It's people losing their lives. There's corrupted governments. There's hidden societies, secrets, tombs full of things. You know, and people forget about that when they hear the music, because a lot of the music today focus on the glorified of cars, clothes, money, having women. And we figure, why go that route? Everybody goes that route. Let's step out and be ourselves, because nothing you can do better is be yourself.
I agree.
You can't do that.
I think that's what people connect to. They know when something's real. They see the bullshit all around them. They see it every single day on television, music videos, on the radio. They hear and are inundated with bullshit. So when you get something that is real in front of you, and you are actually, you're confronted with real, confronted with truth, you have to make a decision whether you're going to buy into that and you're going to connect to it, or you'd rather be hearing about cotton bottomed, you know, all the crazy stuff that you hear. I can't even think of a goddamn lyric at the time. Excuse me. but you know what I mean? It's a different thing altogether.
It's just, yeah, we try to be different, and knowledge is our message. Is learn something. You know, you can always learn something. Real Talk always told me, always learn a little bit about everything. Yep. And I took that and ran with that. So, you know, if I open a computer up and I'm looking at the hard drive, I'm going to learn about where the hard drive came from. Why is it the hard drive? How big is it? And it's just a form of thinking that he preached to me as a student under him, you know, of rap. And I keep my raps under books. You know, a lot of people hurt my confidence down the line, and I gave up on it. So the way to express myself is through his beats, and he tells the stories of what we've been through. But now he's like, hey, Geezus, it's time to bring you need to tell your story. Yeah. You need to put your story to work, because a lot of people doubted you, and not knowing we're successful right now. I'm taking a trip to Germany. How many people can you do that? And he's right, you know, and I appreciate it. It's just, that's what I think the legacy is to me. Appreciation. To appreciate what somebody is handing to you. You know, Real Talk could go on his own and do his own thing without anybody. You know, he got the money, the funds, the life to do it. He even has the skill. You know, he's passed deals up and anything to keep it real with his team. But some people around us forget that meaning. And we learn that, you know, we got to stick together, because if we don't stick together, then there will be no legacy.
Right. It'll be trampled into the ground by somebody else who will take advantage of that. People forget, it's very hard to do any of this in any form of entertainment, whether it be YouTube, music, movies, whatever. It's so hard to do it on your own. I'd say damn near impossible. It's very, very difficult. If you don't have people that you can rely on, if you don't have people that you can enjoy the ride with, like with me and Tommy C, I got to see my best friend go on this incredible ride. He got lucky as hell, but I got to see him do it. It was incredible. And he's tried to help me and others around him as we go. We in part try to help each other. We help this guy. It's what we do. It's what you're supposed to do. It is about appreciation. I think you said the absolute correct word. Any type of brotherhood, any type of camaraderie, any type of legacy is about appreciation for yourself and for those around you and what you're doing together. Yes. And that's what Real Talk preaches. You know, that's what I hear in his music. That's what he's trying to let people know, is appreciate those around you, because they could not be around you. You might not have family and friends helping you get to where you are or anything. And you know, that goes from school, rapping. I don't care what you're doing. We preach knowledge. But you know, a lot about me is I'm a spoken word guy. Yeah. You know, I'm fearful of anything. I don't fear anything, because if you fear it, you'll never learn about it. Right. You know, because you're scared of it. You don't want to learn about it. And people are like, okay, you took a risk naming yourself Jesus. And I'm like, you're right, I did. This is a very heavy risk, because we all have a different form of what we think Jesus looks like. Sure. But if we read the context and read through the words of the Bible, you know, you could take the words and scramble them a little bit, and Jesus is what you are. Exactly. Remember, Jesus is a symbol of that. Yeah. So, you know, me with the G, the dot, the E, the dot, you know, all the dots in between it meant something, and I created this to let people know that it was more to me, and it stands for my godly efforts eternally, suffering under society. Oh wow. Because my godly efforts eternally suffer under society. Yeah, I get it. And that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. I'm a deep thinker, and I just think beyond the pages when I'm writing these songs. These songs are not fake. This is what I see and what I'm living in and what I'm going through, and it's a blessing to have somebody as talented as Real Talk on my side, somebody as talented as Ray Legend on my side. It makes it easier. It makes it easier to create when you know that you have people that can interpret your creation the way that you want it to be. So I can totally understand that. And the odds and funny thing is I can create Real Talk, the greatest beat in the world, but as soon as I go to lay me a beat for myself, it's just not what I want. It's not what I can get.
And you know, shout out to my friend Slick Beck. He makes a lot of my beats. Him and Ray Legend, and it's weird. It's like I buy better off their music and real the god of my music, and you know it just works.
Well, why
It's
do you
like
think that is? Because, you know, this is actually kind of a common tale. You hear a lot of people in the industry that don't create their own beats all the time, even though you know of them creating for other people. I mean, not even just in the rap game. I'm talking all over. You know, Michael Jackson had people ghostwrite for him at times. He has written for others. There's been all kinds of people. Babyface was writing for everybody for a long time. And it's, why do you think that is? Why do you think that sometimes an artist cannot simply just use what they use for other people for themselves? Is it a connection thing? What do you think it is?
You know what? I went and told myself that I thought it was maybe a connection thing. I thought maybe that's what it was, but I think it's time, because time can change. Time changes every second. You know, it's constant. So I think time. So you might hear something today that you don't understand, but say you get wiser. 4 or 5 years from there, that same phrase comes back to you. You understand it now, because time let it set in to understand what you heard that day. You didn't get it. It was all a mystery. Yeah. But as time went on, you learned to focus that time is the reason, you know, you learn things. It takes time.
Yeah,
you know,
time and perspective sometimes is all it takes.
Yeah, and when I say time, I don't mean to keep using the word time. I'm meaning time is something that's continuous. People lives stop, you know, video games stop, computers stop, but time doesn't. So to learn something is what you got to do with time. So if you don't know something today, you should take the time to learn it. Absolutely. And I use a lot of this knowledge that to Real Talk. I preach it to him because that's what we are. It's like you said, we're Batman and Robin. We're Mario and Luigi, and it's we do everything in a perspective of where everybody can feel it. You know, just like you said, you know, it's a lot of people who don't listen to hip hop, but me and Real Talk can get them to listen to our hip hop.
I am a perfect example of that. And look, I'm not gonna lie to you. A big part of the reason is because I did have a very quick connection to Real Talk. We had, like, as soon as he started coming in my chats and he was telling me where he was from and the story, I was like, man, you're from Chicago? I'm from Chicago. Man, we were not that far from you. You're in Vegas? I lived in Vegas. You know, it was just one of those things. And then when I started listening to his music and all these wrestling things and just the constant barrage of metaphors that anybody could grasp. I mean, there's nothing convoluted about his message, but it's deep. Does that mean, you know, like it's a wonderful thing to hear. And you guys are killing it, man. You're absolutely slaying it.
Yeah, and then, you know, a lot of our time, it came through us just hard times. You know, we went through hard times growing up and just through our mid-adult age, and it was hard. And we learned to take it and turn it into this what we give everybody. And it's just a beautiful thing, like you said. And I think this is a beautiful thing, me and you having this conversation, because without Real Talk meeting you, me and you probably would have never had a conversation.
No, that's very true. But, and it goes back to time. It goes back to that saying, the passing of time. The things that it's always moving. We're always moving through it. It's always running out, but there's always more of it. You know, it's a very interesting concept, and just, you know, it without the experiences that we go through this passage of time, we don't have anything to look forward to when we get to the next phase of our lives, which is still in the passage of time. It's deep thinking, and a lot of people simply don't want to even go there because it gives you headaches. It gives you the migraines.
It does. And I mean, you know, with time has healed me, because, you know, like I said, I've been stepped on in Real Talk. We've had to battle groups and take out different people in our group and rearrange the legacy multiple times, you know, and it's over just time. You know, that's what happens with time. You lose members, you gain members. And you know, now that we're a little older and a little wiser, we haven't gained any more members.
Right.
And we've learned that time has taught us that some people appreciate the time we put in to put them on, and some people don't appreciate the time that we take to put them on. And I took a lot of fault for not being where Real Talk is today, because I could be in the same exact spot. And it's all because I took time off. I had to take time off because a lot of rap groups were attacking me. You know, they're like, "Oh, you don't sound like Real Talk. You, oh, yeah." And you know, we wasn't aiming to sound like each other. We were aiming to be different. And people, instead of, during the time we were in, instead of encouraging us to work together and be more focused, they kind of separated us, and it drew boundaries in between us that we had to figure out, was it us going sour or is it the people surrounding us? And it was the people surrounding us. And just from that experience, time made me take time off of rap. I had to understand and learn more. I picked up a lot of books. I did a lot of reading during my time off. And it was just to prove to Real Talk that when I came back, I wanted to be just as great as he is.
Yeah.
And sure enough, time healed it, and I came back with Silent, and Silent is just basically a song about me breaching my silence. I've always kept it. You know, I've never told the world how I really felt. I always told Real Talk. But now it's time for me to speak to the world, because in the words of my friend, it's our time. He always looks me in my face, it's our time, G's. You got to know that. It's our time. And, you know, he's right. And I took a back seat, but it's my time to I have to bring myself back. But I told him I didn't want to start from stage 5 where he is. I'm going to start from stage 1 and build myself back up, because that's how much I appreciate the legacy.
Well, how much do you feel that you've learned during that time? Because taking time off, sometimes people can get resentment for that, and sometimes they're not able to come back. So what was different for you that allowed you to take that time, reflect upon it, and learn the lessons that you needed to learn? Because I've always been a firm believer in luck or opportunity comes when you've worked enough to be ready to receive them. Because people get opportunities, like you had opportunities, but it's a very good chance that you weren't ready for that. So do you think that's what the case was, and you just had to learn these lessons? How do you feel about going through all of that now?
I think it was more of mental for me. I think it's because, you know, I know that I got this friend that's dominating. Right. But the people taking the time to focus on the negative on me, it took away from me seeing his bright side. So I wanted to take away from that. I didn't want him to get discouraged by how I was feeling. So I stepped away out of rap, but I kept making beats to let him know that I'm still with him. I'm just not lyrical right now, because I don't want to preach the story. A lot of people killed my story. They made me feel as if my story wasn't worth being told. And I guess learning today, in the time that I did take, it made me understand that they tried to tarnish my legacy.
Right.
You know, yep, they tried to tarnish it. They tried to tear down my castle, and I let them. But I had to wake up, and I built my castle back brick by brick, in which my castle is my confidence. And, you know, my confidence had to rebuild itself to understand that during this time of your life, this is just a test, Fred, to see how strong you are to stand with Real Talk in this. Real Talk stood through it. I gave up and failed him. I felt like I failed him. And when I felt like I failed him, and he called me and told me, like, you know, I'm upset that you let these people take you out of your game. It hit me. Hearing that come from him meant more than anything, because we started this together. We grinded this together, and for me to lose track of what he told me to focus on, it hurt more than anything. You know what I'm saying? That it was like me being in a bar fight and just watching him stand there watching me hit my you know what I'm saying? Right, just watching me hit my and to hear him tell me come back, it meant a lot, you know. And I had told him I needed that time. I moved back to Detroit to get time with my family. When I left, you know, I had brothers and sisters only 4 or 5 years old. Now they're 11, 12. So it was time for me to come rejuvenate what I missed, what I learned. I'm from here, born and raised. So I needed to see where I came from, see my mother, talk to my mother, talk to my father, tell them about my experiences when I moved to Louisville, Kentucky. I lived there for 11 years. And yeah, it made me stronger, Dave.
Sure.
I mean, 100% stronger. I mean, today, you can't tell me a better MC than me in Real Talk.
No, it's a very interesting dynamic that you guys have. Now, what I found interesting is what you just said about having that conversation, a come to Jesus meeting, for a lack of better phrase. I think that's quite appropriate in this instance. Now, having a type of conversation with not only someone that you look up to, someone that you've learned from, but also family, best friend. When you hear something like that, and when you tell somebody something like you told Real Talk, sometimes that can harbor resentment on both sides. Because I know Real Talk fairly well, and one of the things that seems to bother him is when a guy doesn't live up to his potential, or when a guy potentially gives up on himself. It bothers the shit out of him.
It does.
Why didn't it break you guys apart? Because in so many cases, something like that is the easiest thing to have two people just drift apart. Like, you go your way, I go mine. It's just how it is. But you stayed on board. You kept making music. Why? I mean, so much easily could that just drifted you. What do you think kept you guys together?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be real. It's our friendship. Because let's get away. Let's put away Real Talk and let's talk Jay Davis.
Right.
Let's put away Jesus and let's talk Fred Harrison. Those two people know each other, meaning those two people talk about sports. Those people talk about wrestling. Those two people talk about, politics, the economy, the weather, whatever comes to those two people, because they're friends. Now, let's step back into Jesus and Real Talk. Now, in the rap world, there is no friends. You can't be friends in the rap world. Don't get me wrong. You have allies.
Sure.
But there's no friends. You can't be friends. Like,
people gotta learn that difference. That's a very important lesson to learn. Very important lesson to learn.
I'm preaching it to everybody. I'm letting you know that that's what you have to learn to separate, is Jesus and Real Talk and Fred and Jay. Because Fred and Jay, whether Jesus was rapping, Fred and Jay still talk.
Right.
They still having conversations. And I don't mean to put it in third person, but it's that's what I'm saying, is our friendship.
It makes perfect sense. You're talking to a wrestling guy. So that makes perfect sense. You guys created characters, and you keep the kayfabe, you keep that character alive, and then in the back, you guys are rolling down the road together, working on your act, working on your characters. And go ahead. Yeah.
Oh my God. Right on the nail. Because that's what I'm trying to say, is people don't look at wrestling the way we did. Those guys take those scripts and they run with it.
Yep.
As a rapper, you have to do the same thing. So technically, wrestling is a big metaphor for rap.
Oh yeah.
Yep, it's a big metaphor for rap, and it's because this is why you can use so many words, so many wrestlers and different things, because of so many finisher moves, and it's just like rap. A song is basically your finishing move. Yeah. It's your "you can't see me." It's your, what I'm saying? It's for real. It's your Stone Cold Stunner. And
it is.
When you stun the crowd and you go for the pin, is when those last few seconds of your song going out, when somebody tells theirself, "Hey, I'm gonna listen to that again."
Right.
I like, I'm gonna listen to that again. And that's the same with wrestling. Come on, wrestling has been on forever.
And we've seen the same characters over and over. We've seen same games, but it's the people who take
who take the roles
exactly
and make them what they are. And that's what we do in rap. This is a role. This is Jesus is this is Fred. That's a side of me of Fred, but that's not who I am. It's things people don't know. I could play the piano. It's people don't know I talk. And it's just, that's the part of us that kept our friendship there, and it didn't separate the rap, because I'm still a fan of Real Talks, whether I don't rap or he's rapping. I'm still a fan of Ray Legend. If he quits rap or he stops rap, I still enjoy hearing old things they created. I still enjoy hearing new things they create, and I still enjoy creating things with them to create what we are calling ourselves the legacy. And it's just the opportunity that he gave to me, and he woke me up, my spirit back, and waking my spirit brought Jesus back to life, because I wasn't pushing.
The resurrection of Jesus, if you will.
I closed Twitter. I closed my SoundCloud. I closed everything because I was that hurt by the people around me.
Well, sometimes that happens. You know, that does happen, so you got to go through it.
But you know, when you got Mighty Real Talk as your best friend and he's calling you like,
no, that's very...
don't let them hurt you. And, you know, and I'm like, you're right.
But you got to believe that for yourself. And sometimes you've got to learn those lessons, and you got to come back when you're ready. And Real Talk's really good about understanding that. He'll give you that pep talk, he'll give you that speech, but he knows when you're ready for it or not. He knows when to give it to you, and he knows when to pull back.
And he's a man about time.
Yes, he is.
Yes. If that man tells you he needs this by this day at this time,
he got to go.
It needs to be there. And that's what I'm saying. That's what we created. Is he created a whole epidemic that a lot of people don't understand within me and my friends that are in legacy. And
it's called success.
I want people to know that on the outside of this rap world, we're real good people. Like, we're people that talk to people. Like, I really talk to people and give them advice on just different things. But that's what ties our music to spread the advice to everybody else about everything we're talking about. I mean,
that's why I think your music works, by the way. It's exactly why I think it works, because it's not frivolous. There's something that you can connect to on a human level. But getting past all the metaphors, getting past all of the image stuff that you see in other forms of music, when you guys are doing your thing, especially with you on Silence, because I've listened to that song 3 times a day, and I really do enjoy it, because your style, your delivery, everything is different than what Real Talk does. But it's every bit as enjoyable, and I can see why he pushes you to get back into it, because you have something, and there's no question about that. So you have this dual front now. One day you're going to be able to create the things that you create for other people, for yourself, and when you do that, you're going to be one scary man. So let me ask you, we're talking about a lot of the resurrection of Jesus, the new era that's coming in. So what is going on now with you, because you do have new things happening and this new creation? What is going on right now with you?
Okay, well, I'm working on an album. I've been working on it for a couple of months now. You know what I'm saying? I've been keeping it under wraps. I was going to drop it today, but, you know, shout out to Ray Legend. He's having a baby.
Congratulations. Ray Legend.
That's the studio, man, and I need my engineer and my commission today. But and once he returns, I got an album called Polluted Oxygen.
Okay.
Yep. And what the polluted oxygen stands for is just everything around me I feel is gas. You know, I can't breathe.
Right.
You know, I feel like the pressure's on everywhere, because now I have to live up to my friend, because I was with him at a time. Yeah. It was a time where we were toe to toe. Now I have to live back up to him. So, you know, the oxygen, I'm losing it. Not only, you know, we're huge fans of the marijuana.
Right.
You know, and, you know, so that
I had no idea what you're talking about. I never got that from Real at all. I never got that inclination ever.
You know, and we that's what it is I'm just gonna tell the world why I felt like those people sucked the air out of me, and now you get to hear why they sucked the air and where I came from, because, you know, I'm a kid. I'm 1 out of 8. You know,
wow,
and
big family.
Yeah, it's amazing to be this 1 out of 8, and you know, it's crazy because my mom, she didn't do this purposely, but all my brothers' names is in my name, Fred, and it's just, I find these things about me. No, yeah, and you know, my name's Fred, so Fred. I'm Fred first. You know, Ray will be second. Ray Sean, Eric is my 3rd brother, and D Eric is my 4th brother.
Oh wow.
Fred.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and you know, I'm very good with creating something different around me. And then, you know, I don't want to sound like Real Talk, and a lot of that break helped me not have as much style like him. Mm-hmm. You know, because with us being together so much back in the day, our styles kind of went off of each other. You know, it was Adam and Eve. It was just bouncing. And we learned that I had a different tune. You know, I'm a little slower paced. I got, my voice is a little heavier in the booth. Yeah. So I learned how to make people.
You have more deliberance when you deliver your lines. There's a deliberate sharpness to it, and it punches you.
And I created that during my process off, and I had to learn to be me, because I felt that a lot of people felt I was being real talk instead of trying to be myself. They felt that I was just on his coattail because he was winning. Now, in reality, this was just my friend. You know, hey, this is my friend. I don't care about no rap, nothing like that, you know? But people based our rap careers in our home lives and did everything. They threw it all in one box and they just shook it up. And it just created an atmosphere that was tough for me. But now that I'm back, the atmosphere is on fire. You know, I'm on fire. I mean, he retweets my name and poof, everybody, hey, beat from you. Can I get a beat? Hey, hey, I heard that beat, the new beat you made, man. And you know, it's a blessing to see that he built this empire. You know, without me being there, but knowing that I still appreciate that he built it, and I'm about to help him reinforce it now. It's time to put the fence around it. And we man, Dave, all I can say to you is, man, I appreciate this interview more than anything, because a lot of people never listened to my voice, man, and got to hear why I am the way I am, and you know why I'm so content and strong about my nature now. It's just confidence came to me in this year. And you know, I'm not going to say it took me a while. I took 4 years off. Yeah. And it just came to me this year to finally get a grip that you can rap, Fred. You know, rap. Tell people your story. It's going to be some fans that don't like you, and there's going to be some fans that like you. That's
completely okay. That's just part of it.
And that's a part of it. And I guess growing up is what taught me more of anything, to just go with the flow. So my, you know, people look for the pop. You know, my Oxygen album, I want everybody to know that, you know, everybody feels like sometimes somebody's taking the oxygen out of them, and whether it's asking you for money, whether it's people asking you for drugs, whether it's people asking you for anything. And
sometimes with the criticism that people give you, it can be like with you let people get inside your head for a time, and you weren't able to continue your journey. You were stifled. Your oxygen was taken away from you. And what's the most important thing that oxygen does? What does oxygen fuel? Oxygen fuels fire. Oxygen fuels passion, a desire. You need that. And now I can see. Now, a lot of people in the chat are noticing I'm not talking as much as I usually do. And there's a really good reason for that. You have incredible passion when you talk. You could feel that oxygen fueling the words that you're saying. You believe them. Now, I have a question, because you talked about this a second ago in relation to all the oxygen talk and everything like that. You talked about expectations because of what Real Talk is built, what you have to live up to. What pressure comes along with that? And do you feel that at this point in your life, with everything that you learned, that you're ready to take on those expectations and go to the next level, take the legacy to that spot where, now you got a big smile on your face, and I like that. I like that.
Because, I mean, this is the question I've been waiting for, because because I've always had it. That's what I had to realize. I always had it.
Right.
I never took the time to tell myself that, like, Fred, you got it. Do it. And I know that my message is strong because I come from a place where everybody, come on, this is the Midwest, you know, you Chicago, I'm Detroit, we know about our cities.
Yes,
this is not the safest places on the planet. People don't smile in our cities. Colors are prohibited in certain places in our city.
Yes,
and you know, and that's the life that I never gave to people. I always gave people my happy life. Oh yeah, I'm spending money, I got this brand new car, oh yeah. But you know, and that's what I learned to turn the cheek on, is to understand that it was more than rap. It's more than rap. You got to be confident about yourself too. You can't just, you know, look at your friend and be like, oh yeah, he's winning. You got to think that same pressure with yourself, because if you're not thinking the same things he's thinking ahead.
Right.
You know, and I understand the concept is what makes me know that I can take the pressure today is Real Talk. You know, he hears my songs before they're even put on a pad. You know, he hears before they're even out. He knows before. He hears the beat. He hears all of that. So he's my informant. Oh, that's a good song. You could brush that one up. You know, or you do this. But over time, he let me go now. So I got it, and he's just like, drop it, bro. Bring this to the world. And you know, after me and your interview today, I'm gonna drop a single today for everybody to hear. You know, I dropped a freestyle a couple days ago, and I want everybody to hear it. And it's just a little bit about me. It's a freestyle about me and what I'm seeing.
That link will be in the description box, by the way. Make sure you send me that link as soon as you drop it, and I'm going to put that in the description box so everybody can find it. Because if you don't listen to it, we're going to have words. We're going to have problems. We're going to have some problems, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So here's what I'd like you to do after you listen to it. Let myself and Jesus know what you thought about it. Tag us both together. Let us know what you thought about the song, because feedback is sometimes the only way that we know. And if you don't, you're going to be making a mistake if you don't listen to this song by Jesus, because if you're not just completely captivated by this man's story, check your heartbeat. Check your heartbeat. Let me ask you another question here, because with everything that we've talked about so far, I want to know, up to this point, what is your favorite thing that you've gotten to work on with Real Talk? What is your favorite piece of art, your favorite project that you've put together so far?
Woo! That one's hard, because see, me and him debate, on which beat is harder and which one is in. It's always a thing, but I will say War Games. I think War Games set a different standard of hip hop. And with me and his mind frame and how we think, I knew to make that pattern the way I made it for him.
Very hard hitting. Very hard hitting.
Yeah. That's different in the rap world. People aren't hearing music like that. That steps out for people, because people are like, wow, he took a sound that I would never thought would have been a rap beat, and he made that a rap beat. And what it is that's what I see. I see is War Games, right now, it's on fire. I feel like me and Talk did great, but Black Mozart as well,
Real Talk's in the chat right now saying New World.
Yeah, New World.
That's one of my favorites too. I gotta admit, I do like. Now I'm partial to Morning Light a little bit, because that is my theme song.
But you see what I'm saying? That's what I love about my best friend. We're in here and we're debating on which one is the best, because that's how great all the songs are. It's everybody has a catch to what they want to hear. And personally, he says the New World. I think like Mozart and War Games, and then he even has a beat called Never. Everybody just look for it. And these are things me and him we pass on. But yeah, I think we have fun with the beats that we make. And he calls me. He's like, hey, I need this like this at this time. I tell him, give me about 45 minutes. Give me some time to listen to it. I'm not a person to just take a beat and just go over it. I listen to it. I listen to the actual sample he wants me to use, or if he wants me to play it from scratch, I do that for him. And it's an amazing feeling when I'm making the beat, because the beat is the story that I already know he's going to write to it. I already know what he's going to write to it. I don't have to expect nothing less. And I think a lot of my beats are cold. I think a lot of Ray Legend beats are cold, and Slick Back. Yeah, we're the three producers in Real Talk's life, and I just think that it's hard to call with us, because he has so many different styles that he's creating. You can't say, oh, I just love this one, because he's
quite eclectic. I mean, like, a lot of artists, they have different albums to kind of express different formats, different genres. He does it within the same album. I mean, from song to song, it's a different feel, and you could tell when he's using different producers. You could tell when he's using different people, and you could see why he does it. So I think that's one of the most impressive things. So you kind of touched on it. What's the process? Because Real Talk's not a big writer. He kind of goes in and spits it. What comes first, the beat or what he lays down? He calls you. Walk me through this process, because this is interesting to me.
Okay, look, I'm gonna make it fun too, because I gotta do it. He does it for me, My phone rings, I see it. It's like it's Real Talk calling. Answer it. What's up, Real Talk? And this is exactly how it goes. Jeez, you busy? I'm like, nah, I'm not busy right now. I'm technically, I'm good. He's like, okay, I need you to stop what you're doing. Go listen to this on YouTube. I'm like, okay. I take the process, go listen to it. He's like, call me back. Click. I listen to it. I rock to it. I'm like, okay. I call him back. All right, what you want me to do it? Jeez, make it epic. You know how I like to do it. I want to make it epic. And as soon as I hear the epic, I'm like, oh, okay. So I know what he wants. And I call them the crunchers. And people's like, how you call them the crunchers? Because when they come through, they crunch you.
Yeah.
You know, they that good. Like, ooh, that's a good beat. And yeah, we just that is what I do. The process of making it now takes a lot. Now I play the piano, I play the drums, I do a little of everything. I try to dabble into jazz, you know, all forms of art of music. And that's what it is with Real Talk. He always brings me something that's challenging. You know, it's very challenging. Like personally, Shakespeare, he has a song called Shakespeare. I produced the beat. I hated that beat.
Song. It's a good song.
I hated that beat. I personally hated that beat. I really told him, like, I hate that beat. But look, he took it. He put the words to it. I love that beat. I can't explain to you why. It's maybe because when I heard it, just with the, you know, the patterns and it wasn't hype to me. But when
you just gave him a blank canvas.
Yep. His art form. And then he called me, and then the funny thing is, once he gave me the title of the beat and he told me the name of the song, I threw him the ideas for the video. Like, you know, why don't you make it like that? And he's like, we are, and that's what we do. Is we're just creative. Before he does a video, he always calls me, gets an input from me to hear what I think about things, because you know I have a few videos too, you know, and that expect that this month, I promise to the people that you get a Jesus video. You know, that's cool. One thing I don't have in the legacy, but this I promise to the fans this month, you get a Jesus video. It's coming, and you're gonna love it. And you get exclusively you're getting a video with me and Real Talk together.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's coming. And we, you know, it's he just motivated me back, Dave. I'm just back, man. I'm happy. I'm motivated. I'm living good. I'm eating good, you know, and I rap.
It's a change.
Yeah, it's I'm just loving the fact that I'm on here with you today and I got to talk. I mean, I know I talk a lot.
Oh no, I greatly appreciate it. I don't mean to cut you off at all, but I do got to say a quick thank you, because we just got a fairly big donation in from Geesus, who is the goddess. If people don't know, kneel or be knelt by the goddess, because Geesus is here. Thank you so much, Geesus. You are absolutely insane as always. I love you to death. Very, very generous. Thank you very much. Now, I think we're getting close to wrapping this up. I want to play your song at the end of this. I'm going to play it in its entirety. I'm not going to get struck or anything copyright-wise. Everything should be okay, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So as soon as we're done... Good, because I've been hit by other things before. So I'm going to ask you one or two more questions, and then I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to do my little outro, and I'm going to play your song, so that way, and then I'll call you back right after. Does that all sound good to you, my friend?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. So now, that being said, let's finish up a little bit of business here with this. Now, we've gone through the entire journey of where you started from to where you are currently. So, being the cliche radio talking douche that I am, I gotta ask, in the next 3 to 5 years, what's the future, man? Where does the legacy go from here? Where do you see the legacy growing? You see where Real Talk's coming next month and all of that. Where does it go from here?
I say we build an empire. We build a label. We become a label. I mean, right now we're an independent group, but I see us being a label in 5 years. I don't see us nothing less. I see it being Real Talk being the head. I see me CEO to what we've accomplished in us running our own label, and we have the brains, the funds, and the smartness to put it off. Just me need to join. I need to join back in, and that's what I see in 5 years. I see us winning. I see us still winning, but in a bigger part of our lives now. You know, now rap means more to me than it did, because it still touches on the fact of time. In time, I know that I'll be wiser from the day that I had this interview with you today. I'll be wiser, I'll be smarter, and I'll make better decisions, and I'll keep pushing. No more giving up. That's not a part of a legacy. Leaving a legacy.
Only time you fail. Only time you fail is when you don't get up again, when you quit. That's it. It's the only time you ever fail.
And you know, this is just for everybody listening and all the viewers. You know, never give up on anything you're doing, because it'll crush you and spiral you into something that you just a dark place that you don't want to be in. And me finding my dark place and beating it is the best thing I ever did. So to everybody struggling and everybody having hard times and everybody going through things, get out that dark place. Because once you find that light, everything's gonna be smooth. Absolutely. You can see it in this bright smile.
I think everybody who's listening to this interview definitely learned something today, and they definitely hear the passion that you have. And all I can say is thank you so much for being here, because this has been one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. I love your story, and I can't wait to see what you guys create in the future together and what you do individually, man. Here's the thing: when you're talking to somebody who's real, it's when you're believing what they're saying even before it's come to fruition. I know success when I see it, and I know passion when I see it, and you guys are going to keep doing your thing, and I'm 100% sure of it. So thank you so much for being here, my friend, and hopefully I'll have you back on very soon. Maybe you and Real Talk together. Who knows, when he comes back from his trip, and him and I have finally gotten to meet you guys and come on the show when he comes back together. We can have another little discussion together, man. I've really enjoyed this.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, and I really enjoyed it too. I'm gift of gab, man. That's what they say. Fred, you got the gift of gab.
Yeah, I've heard that about myself my entire life, man. You and I together, this was something very special. So thank you very much. I'm going to play your entire song directly following this. Thank you. Tell the kids where they can find you, everywhere they can find you. It is in the description box, but let them all know and what's coming up in the near future for you, like directly after the show.
All right, word. After the near future, you're going to catch the single right off SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/Geesus313. You can Google Geesus313. I come up on Facebook. I come up on Google. I come up on Yahoo. Just add me. Come follow me. Find out what I'm about. I preach. This is what I do. That's why they call me Jesus, because I preach.
That's right. We got the Metaphor Messiah and the actual Messiah together. So thank you, Jesus. You have yourself a fantastic night, my friend. And everybody stick around for just a few more minutes, and we're going to listen to Silence. Thank you so much, man. You have yourself a great night.
You too.
Take it easy. What an amazing interview we had tonight. I am absolutely enthralled that I was able to have such an incredible guest and musician on the show tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, before we play the song, before we get out of here on that song, I do want to once again say thank you to Crazy Casey's my goddess. Now, she inquired about the chocolate. Now, maybe she didn't get the memo, but I had to retire the chocolate and basically all pepper punishments. Now, there's other things that I can do. I can give you the booby flex. I can do other things for you, Casey. Whatever you need, whatever you want, I'm here for you. But I threw up blood the other night. And we can't have that. That is no bueno. So, that being said, we had to kind of retire that stuff. But Casey, regardless, thank you so much for that incredible donation, and hopefully you guys enjoyed everything that you saw tonight right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Now, as promised, we're going to go out on Jesus' incredible song, Silence. Check it out, listen, relax to it, and we'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Remember, kids, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Now enjoy this sick music.
2G. I've always kept my word and my silence to myself. I'm back. I've always kept my I never told the world how I really felt. You ever felt stripped from your champion belt? Words of ignorance from someone else? It killed my vibe, but now I'm losing time. I'm not performing live, nor standing on the stage, rapping with the guys. Behind every smile is a fat lie, and if a nigga tell me different, I'll commit suicide. The rules will always differ for you and I catch bodies on this paper without shooting God. I'm more scared of revelations than a confrontation. I've been waiting on one of you doctor niggas to try my patience. Hip-hop is segregated, Kendrick tried to levitate it, but I learned no one has an interest in a college major. Up and down like an elevator, that's elevated. Guess this is the conversation that had never made it. I never told the world how I really felt. I step away by moving in stealth, by myself with no help from nobody else. It killed my vibe. It killed my vibe. I can no longer keep my. If I do, I might snap on you and get violent. How can I let another man decide my climate? Hot or cold, it's the same when I gets to rhyming. The Lord gave me these blessings to stop guessing who's really messing or even testing my message when I'm teaching lessons. I live in Detroit and I breathe these streets. I can sense the sin in you and me, but I'm looking for peace. I step away by moving it. By myself with no help from nobody else except my recipe. They always sending threats to a sniper in a tree until I turn my words into a third degree murder. Lord, come and save me. I don't wanna enslave thee, the wicked and the lazy. My life is getting crazy. This is not how my father raised me. This is why God he made me. I've always kept my. I never told the world how I really felt. I step away by moving in stealth, by myself with no help from nobody else. It killed my vibe. It killed my vibe. I'm more scared of revelations than a conversation. I'm more scared of revelations than a confrontation. I'm more scared of revelations than a confrontation. By myself with no help from nobody else. I never told the world how I really felt. 2 G's.